Well, hello again. We talk a lot about safety and prevention tips, but a lot of times the number one reason that you're going to call 911 in the event of an emergency is going to be for a medical reason. I mean, think about it. Whether you were a child and you fell and you needed some stitches or a cast on your hand, or even if you're a slip and fall as an adult, when you call 911, a lot of these medical things that first responders are coming to, they could have been prevented. Today, we're actually going to look around inside your house, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to see if there's things that you can do today to help prevent these types of safety hazards and from you needing to call 911 again. Again, my name is Sergeant Chris Kopp, and I'm here keeping you safe. First, let's talk about one of the biggest culprits inside the home when it comes to tripping hazards: area rugs. Now, an area rug, there's a couple things you want to look for. One, you want to make sure that it's kind of low to the ground, so that way you don't trip against it, whether it's your toe or any type of footwear that you're wearing. But one thing that you can do to be a little bit more preventive to keep that rug in place is to install one of these rug friction pads. You install them underneath the rug, so that way, when you lay the rug on top of it, that rug does not move. Another common tripping hazard inside of a home are extension cords. Now, I understand a lot of the times you may have the perfect lamp in the perfect location, and the only way to get power to that lamp or electronic device is to use an extension cord. Well, extension cords should never be used for permanent wiring. But if you do need to use an extension cord temporarily, make sure that you run it along the inside baseboard inside of a room, behind furniture or under furniture. But most importantly, do not allow that extension cord to run across where you normally tend to walk. So other tripping hazards that you need to be mindful of are just everyday items that you have laying around the house. Well, I mean, think about it. If you have any animals or pet toys laying around, or let's say you had the grandkids over and they left some toys out, or, well, the more common, the shoes that you forget to put away. All of these items, well, including the tray that you left out from last night, could all be items, tripping hazards that could put you in the hospital, and they're all preventable. We've all been there in the middle of the night where you turn off that bathroom light and you're having to feel your way around to get back to the bed. Well, that's due to improper lighting. If you were to have a night light or some type of mood lighting in the other room that will illuminate the ground, you won't trip on those hazards, those dog toys and those area rugs, and you can safely travel from the bathroom to your bed. Another location to be mindful of, especially when it comes to safety hazards within the home, is the bathroom. One of the most common things here in the bathroom is going to be that floor. When you're coming in and stepping out of a shower and onto a tile floor, well, remember, your body's wet, the tile then becomes wet, and then it becomes slippery. The best thing to do is, instead of having exposed tile, well, install a rug. Now, also keep in mind the fact from stepping from the shower out onto the rug that you have installed, you want to look for some type of grip or handrail to brace yourself with. Now, I understand a lot of these showers have these rails installed. Well, they're designed to hold the weight of a towel, not your body weight. So please do not use these handrails when it comes to supporting your body weight stepping out of the shower. Now, another common item here in the bathroom that we want to focus on is the toilet. Now, I know it sounds a little strange, but you want to get a toilet that isn't too low to the ground. Now, they do have different heights. Now, keep in mind, the lower that the toilet or the commode is, the more you have to stand up, the more strength that you're going to need. So then we go back to that grip, that handrail again. If needed, install one next to the toilet to assist you when standing up. The next room we want to talk about inside your home is the kitchen. Believe it or not, if you look around, there are a ton of hazards that you need to be mindful of. The first thing you want to look at is, well, the floor. In the kitchen, whether it's from the sink or the dishwasher, you tend to get water on the floor. Let's say from the stove, you have cooking grease that happens to spill its way onto the floor. Well, you want to clean those up immediately. Remember that every single puddle of water or little spot of grease could potentially be a slip and fall accident waiting to happen. Make sure you clean those up immediately so that way your kitchen doesn't become a hazard. Now, as we go around your kitchen, you will start to notice all kinds of potential hazards. The first, well, whether it's meal prep or actually eating, there's a lot of sharp utensils, cutlery that's all around the kitchen. Be very careful when using them, obviously, but heaven forbid you are to cut yourself and you're bleeding. You want to make sure that you have a first aid kit nearby or some type of hemostatic agent to control that bleeding, so hopefully that it stops and you don't need to call 911. Well, a lot of our kitchens obviously are equipped with appliances. Now the stove, however, generates so much heat in such a confined small little space. Now modern day appliances like stoves, they have lights that tell you when your burners are on. If the burner is on, make sure that whatever you want to heat up is on there and that there's nothing else on top of the stove or around it. A lot of the appliances also have what are called these hot cooktop warning lights. So they tell you that even though you've turned the burner off, the stovetop is still hot. But heaven forbid you happen to have fire that happens in the kitchen. You want to make sure you have the most important tool, the fire extinguisher. Now there are three main components that we want to focus on when it comes to fire extinguishers. It's the type of fire extinguisher, and they're determined by letters. They have A, which is going to be for your combustible objects. These are going to be things like garbage and cardboard. Then there's also B types of fires. Now these are going to be mainly focused on liquids such as greases and oils. And then we also have C, which is going to be your electrical type fires. Now when making a purchase of a fire extinguisher, make sure that it has the chemical compound to put out an A, B, and C type of fire. Now we recommend purchasing a 2A 10 BC fire extinguisher. And they look like this. Now that you have your actual fire extinguisher, now you want to focus on that gauge that's at the top of the fire extinguisher, because that tells you if the fire extinguisher is charged and ready to be used. Now, if it is a overcharged or undercharged and that arrow is outside that green in any direction, that fire extinguisher may not perform when you need it in an emergency. If you see that arrow is outside that green area at any time, either replace that fire extinguisher immediately or bring the fire extinguisher to any one of these fire supply stores so that they can charge it appropriately. We want to make sure that that fire extinguisher is ready to go so it can put out the small fire in the kitchen instead of the fire department putting out your house. If your home is equipped with stairs, there's a couple things that we want to take a look at as it relates to safety and hazards. First thing is these handrails. Stairs should be equipped with a handrail, and you should inspect them fairly regularly. You want to make sure that there's no give, there's no wiggle, and they're not loose. If they are and they can't support your body weight, make sure you get that checked out immediately. Another thing you want to look at is, well, the stairs themselves. Are they uneven? Do they squeak? Do they have any give in them? If they do, again, make sure you get those checked out immediately. And the last thing is the surface of the stairs. If you have stairs that are made of hardwood, you want to make sure that you cover them with some type of surface such as carpet or a runway. So that way you build friction and it helps you to get up and down the stairs. I hope this starts to give you some idea of the safety potential and hazards that are in and around your home. Again, I'm Sergeant Chris Kopp here, keeping you safe.